When I announced my candidacy for mayor of Arvada, I stated that I was confident that Arvadans wanted to keep our city a special place, family-friendly, small-town atmosphere, easygoing with neighborly local shops and businesses. Because of my continuing faith in that proposition, today I feel it is my duty to talk about a much more disturbing situation. It is unfortunate that we are witnessing a haze of political impropriety descending on our city. I am speaking about a culture of cronyism at City Hall that threatens Arvada's good reputation and, if left unchecked, may threaten our economic prosperity. Political cronyism is a type of corruption where government officials give preference to friends and associates when appointing people to important positions, when awarding contracts, or when dispersing public money. In government, as in other aspects of daily life, it's human nature to surround oneself with those who are like-minded. However, political cronyism involves favoritism with concrete consequences. For example, when public funds end up going to campaign contributors, or when government decisions are made that benefit political or social allies. And this is what I'm talking about here today. I believe we are seeing in our city the dark smoke of favoritism that has the appearance of payoffs to the well-connected and that comes at a cost to the rest of the citizens and taxpayers. Public monies diverted to political pals are tax dollars not spent to maintain roads, fund the police department, or support other basic government responsibilities. I'm not alleging some kind of grand racketeering conspiracy. I'm not alleging that there were ever secret meetings in dark restaurants outside the Arvada city limits where plans were laid to dispense favors to the select few. I am maintaining that a simple examination of the public record can lead a person to conclude that there is a smoldering culture of influence peddling existing in the current Arvada elected body. There is the appearance of impropriety in Arvada. One case of blatant favoritism would surely be enough to cause concern. This kind of abuse of the system should never occur. But in fact, we have multiple examples of the seeming link between campaign contributions, board memberships, and government grants and loans. A study of the members of the boards of the Arvada Economic Development Association, the Arvada Urban Renewal Authority Board, and the Arvada Chamber of Commerce Board show a conspicuous presence of the same names over and over again and rotating from board to board over the years. Surely some will say this kind of thing goes on everywhere. It's politics and government as usual. I don't believe that. Nevertheless, even if cronyism is an affliction of other governments, that doesn't make it acceptable for Arvada. Now, as I proceed to enumerate examples of favoritism, I want to be very clear that many of these individuals and the related businesses have made worthy contributions to our community. They have given of their time and resources to make Arvada a better place. Nevertheless, whether knowingly or not, it is my contention that there is the appearance that they have been touched by a web that is scandalous and is injurious to the credibility of the Arvada municipal government and the reputation of our community. The program behind some of this favoritism comes out of the Arvada Economic Development Association, AIDA, which is funded in the city budget. The purpose of this program is, and I quote from AIDA's small business government document, "The small business grant is designed to help business and property owners who want to improve the external appearance of their commercial properties. This is a matching grant program that leverages AIDA funds and private sector investment." The document also says, "The AIDA board may, at its sole and exclusive discretion, change criteria for the program, discontinue the program, postpone the program, or reallocate funds to the program. Its uses: businesses that are located in a standalone building are eligible for up to a $15,000 maximum 50-50 matching grant. And there is something called an AIDA Opportunity Fund, which is essentially the AIDA board's funding balance after committing monies to other various programs. The opportunity funds are also used at the board's full discretion and scrutiny. Frankly, Opportunity Fund has the distinct odor of a kind of legal slush fund, a reserve of cash held in an organization for which the executives administering it have informal discretion and are not made fully accountable over its use. That's just my impression. Now, here are the particulars. Item 1. This year, 2015, Baroni Incorporated, a manufacturer of compaction wheels, received a $62,000 Opportunity Fund grant from the Arvada Economic Development Association. That is a transfer of tax dollars of Arvadans to a private, for-profit company. Frank Baroni has been active in all of Mayor Mark Williams' campaigns. Baroni himself and his family were major campaign contributors in the 2011 mayor's race at $2,250. Baroni has been a member and past chair of the board of the Arvada Chamber of Commerce. He was president of the Arvada Economic Development Association Board of Directors until the end of 2012. Baroni Inc., located in the area of Ralston Road in Lamar, to great fanfare built a new $2 million facility. Yet for all of its success and its ability to finance such construction, the Baroni Company gets a $62,000 grant from the taxpayers, courtesy of the board upon which Frank Baroni just recently served. No surprise, of course, Baroni is involved in the Williams re-election effort, and in the latest Contributions and Expenditure Report of September 14, 2011, Baroni and family have thus far contributed $1,750. Item 2. Lakeside Insurance at the corner of Wadsworth and Vance got a $15,000 grant from AIDA in 2012. In the previous year, 2011, the McCarrans and Lakeside Insurance donated $1,250 to the Williams campaign. The next year, Arvada taxpayers sent the company $15,000. Of course, there is a Williams campaign sign in front of the building. Mike McCarran is currently on the board of directors of the Arvada Chamber and has given the Williams campaign $100 so far this year. Item 3. The Supers Credit Union at 60th on Sheridan Avenue received from Arvada taxpayers a $1,500 gift in 2012. In 2014, the credit union opened a new building at 60th and Sheridan. Super Credit Union Executive Vice President of Corporate, Mike Litsu, was Vice President of the AIDA Board in 2010. By 2013, he was President and is listed as still on the board today. Note how these dates overlap. Michael Litsu gave the Williams mayoral campaign $100 in 2011. This year, Mr. Litsu again gave $100 for the Williams re-election campaign, and $100 to incumbent Bob Pfeiffer, and $100 to incumbent Jerry Marks, and $100 to incumbent Mark McGough. Item 4. In 2012, Easter Owens, a metal fabrication and power integrations company located in Arvada, got a $2,100 grant from the taxpayers through AIDA. David Easter is the president CEO. In 2011, he gave the Williams campaign $200. This year, Mr. Easter has contributed $350 to Williams. Item 5. This year, 2015, Industrial Chemicals Corporation, Robert L. Wilson president, received a taxpayer-funded $15,000 grant from AIDA and a $100,000 loan from AIDA. Robert L. Wilson shares the same golden address as Moni Pease Wilson, who is currently on the Board of Commissioners of the Arvada Urban Renewal Authority. Ms. Wilson was on the AIDA board from 2008 to 2011. In 2011, her company, Food City USA, maker of Grandma's Frozen Noodles, gave the Williams campaign the maximum, $750. For this 2015 mayoral election, Moni Pease Wilson has contributed the maximum, $750. Robert L. Wilson has given $500. Industrial Chemicals Corporation forked over the maximum, $750. That's a total of $2,000 and a Williams sign on the fence at Industrial Chemicals. Item 6. This year, 2015, Alio Industries received a $15,000 grant from AIDA. Company founder and CEO Bill Hennessy has donated the maximum, $750 this year, to the Williams campaign. Item 7. $36,167 in 2015 from the Arvada taxpayers through the AIDA Opportunity Fund went to the Rocky Mountain Children's Health Foundation, a worthy cause and institution, no doubt. But the plain fact remains, and it is disturbing, is that Executive Director of RMCHF is Luann Williams, wife of Mark Williams. It is difficult to even talk about. Nevertheless, the public record shows that Mrs. Williams contributed the maximum amount allowable by Arvada law to her husband's campaign in 2011 and $750 this year. And a Williams campaign sign is right in front of the 501c3 office headed by Mrs. Williams. I'm just a rather straightforward candidate for mayor of Arvada. I've been active for around 20 years in trying to make my community, especially its government, better and more responsive to its residents. I'm not an investigator. Yet together with citizen volunteers, we have studied the public record to find this unsettling information. Once again, certainly the appearance of impropriety. I want to turn my attention for a few moments to the Arvada Urban Renewal Authority, which has been quite controversial in our city now for the past couple of years at least. I and others have already written and spoken much about ORA's tax giveaways and, in many people's opinions, projects destructive of Arvada's history and traditions. The current state of the Arvada Urban Renewal Authority Board of Commissioners is, in my estimation, the great log on the Cronyism fire. The Arvada Urban Renewal Board of Commissioners is appointed by the mayor of Arvada with the approval of the council. Mr. Williams, who makes the appointments, appointed himself to that board, a board that is populated now by contributors to his political campaigns, whose very seats on the board are dependent upon Mark Williams. We see these campaign contributions to Williams's political efforts. Fred Jacobson, ORA Chair, $200 this year. Alan Parker, ORA Vice Chair, $750 this year and $500 in 2011. Moni Pease Wilson, ORA Commissioner, $750 this year and $750 in 2011. And Paige Boland, ORA Commissioner, $100 in the 2011 election. Including Williams, that is 5 of the 7 ORA commissioners with what one could argue have the appearance of compromised positions. And not surprisingly, Arvada Urban Renewal developers. Mr. Mark Goldberg, the developer of the atrocious Park Place Old Town apartment complex at Wadsworth and Ralston Road. This project getting around $3.3 million in urban renewal taxpayer subsidies and a sweetheart land deal. $750 campaign contribution to Williams this year. Richard Shearberg, developer of the residence at Arvada Ridge Urban Renewal Area. $100 this year and $100 4 years ago. Bruce Nickerson, Candalis Jefferson Center Urban Renewal District. $750 this year, $750 last election. Jason Smith, developer of the Solana Old Town Station apartment complex that is getting a $7.2 million tax subsidy from ORA. $750 to Williams this year. Let me say again, the campaign contributors and receivers of government favors are not necessarily the issue. It is what looks to be a corrupt system in Arvada that spreads through a mayor who at the least has let the appearance of this kind of favoritism and cronyism flourish. Finally, there is the City Council itself. From the public record, contributions from Mark Williams to incumbents running for re-election this year. To Councilmember Bob Pfeiffer, $100 from Williams. Pfeiffer also received $200 from Councilmember Jerry Marks and $99 from Councilmember Mark McGough. To Jerry Marks, $200 from Williams. Marks also got $99 from McGough. To Mark McGough, $100 from Williams. McGough also received $200 from Jerry Marks. To Councilmember Bob Dyer, $100 from Williams. Dyer also getting $200 from Jerry Marks. Contributions to the Williams campaign from incumbents running this year and one incumbent not up this year. Jerry Marks, $200. Mark McGough, $99. Don Allard, $50. City Council members, including and especially the mayor, are supposed to be elected representatives of all the people. We, the people, are their constituents. They are really not supposed to be beholden to anyone but us. The City Council today is literally a good old boys club. In this election, the incumbents are running as a slate that could be called the Incumbents Party. One of the great positives of nonpartisan elections like City Council is the hope that divisive factions can be avoided for the common good. This laudable concept is surely undermined when most council members have become such personal and political pals that they are making contributions in each other's political campaigns. So we have here an explanation for the 7-0 unanimous votes that we see 92% of the time on the Arvada Council. Incumbents who put their own money into keeping each other in power. It is common sense that all Arvadans don't agree on everything all the time. These unanimous council votes betray a dysfunctional democracy, and this is what we get as a consequence. Secret executive sessions preceding almost every council meeting. Hundreds of thousands and millions of tax dollars distributed to private, for-profit corporations and developers. The Open Meetings Law arguably violated to fill a council vacancy. An urban renewal authority out of control. Disrespect for Arvada's history that is turning Old Town into a miniature downtown Denver. And our streets in terrible condition because of an arrogant council that puts other priorities ahead of performing basic government duties to the citizens. If it becomes the belief among the people that government does not work for them, but is there for the benefit of the well-connected and the campaign contributors of those elected to office, the cynicism, distrust, and contempt for government will become ruinous of the public good. And it can hurt economic progress. When government doles out special favors, then creative, conscientious, and honest people become motivated to spend valuable time and effort to obtain government favors for themselves, instead of contributing to a community's prosperity. The obvious fix for this culture of cronyism in Arvada is to elect a new mayor and new council members. There are, of course, other fixes to correct the taint of favoritism, many laid out in the action agenda for Arvada proposed by the grassroots reform group Arvada for All the People. Perhaps we should even have a full-fledged council debate involving the citizens of Arvada on whether or not we should even have a program of taxpayer-funded grants to private for-profit businesses. Is it so radical a concept these days that the cost of doing business should be paid for by business? Maybe basic, good old American free enterprise ought to be allowed to work everywhere in Arvada. I'm running for mayor to break this cycle of insider politics and to invite a more robust and diverse dialogue among and between council members and the public. Together we can create a more inclusive city that is only beholden to and benefits all the people of Arvada. There is an old saying that where there is smoke there is fire. I recently learned that in Britain they use the saying this way: there is no smoke without fire. There is certainly enough in the public record, enough smoke to reasonably conclude that there is a fire of political indecency in Arvada. We need to put that fire out. It is time to elect a new city council. It is time to elect a new mayor.